Hello everyone. Now today we have this particular data in front of us. This is class data. Okay, it's the detail about students in a given class. Now what we want is, let's say here we have the variable for sex. Now we all know F stands for female, M stands for male, but here we want to have it in complete word, right? F means female. We want to write F equals to female and M equals to male, right? How can we do that? So I have created a video on if else statement. Description is given, sorry, link is given in the description section. You can check that out. For here, for now, I'm just going to create that over here, right? So what we can do is data sample, and what we can do is set SAS help dot class. All right, now the data is set over here. Now we want to create a flag basis on M or F value, right? So what we can do is we can say if sex equals to F, then let's say gender. Let's create a variable called gender. We want to say it female. Else else gender equals to male, right? And then run this and then print this. Proc print data equals to sample, and then just run this. What do you think? What's going to be the output? It's pretty simple. Okay, you see here, wherever it is M, it has been converted to male, it has been translated to male, and F has been translated to female, right? So it's pretty simple, right? But if you see, the syntax is still little bigger, right? Is there a way to make it smaller than this? Yes, there is a way to make smaller than this, right? We can just translate it. How can we do that? So it's a simplest way. Simply just say, give the variable name gen. Here we are going to create a variable gen, and in that, if you want to use a shorthand for this, so we can use if c. The function name is if c. In that, what you're gonna say is you just put simply this particular condition over here, and if this is true, what is the value that you want to populate? That I want to populate female. And if not true, then what is the value that you want to populate? Male. There could be a scenario when this particular variable might have some missing value. So in that scenario, what you can say is I can populate NA, which is not available. But this third argument is non-mandatory, so you can ignore that also, right? If you want, you can skip using that. Now if you run this, you are exactly going to have the same value. But if you say it has reduced the syntax size, right? It has reduced the syntax size. So this is called the shorthand for if else statement. Let's try to understand this on the board. So what I did is, look, this is the syntax for if c. Okay, before I explain you this, let me give you another example. For example, instead of female and male, I want to populate 1 and 0. So wherever the value is, the value in sex variable is F, I want to say it 1. Wherever it is 0, male or M, I want to just say it as 0, right? Or the other way. So I'm going to create another variable which is called gen code, and if the value in sex variable is F, then I want to say it is 0. I just want to say 0, and if it is male, I want to say 1. What do you think? Is this going to work? Let's try this. Oh, it just worked. But the case is over here, whenever you are using some, okay, because let me just remove this particular thing. Now let's try if this is going to work. That still worked. Maybe here it is working, but the best way is, if you want to populate something which is numeric, then instead of if c, you gotta use if n. Let's try that. What happens? You see, now this is numeric variable, right? So whenever you want to populate the result in form of numbers, then you gotta use if n, otherwise you're gonna use if c. I just hope that it is clear. It doesn't depend on the input value, depending on the output. What is the output that you want? If you want the output as character, then you use if c. If you want output as numeric, then you use if n. Now let me just explain it to you over here. So this is the syntax, if c, and then you put your logic over here, and then put the value when the logic is true, and put the value when the logic is false, which you want to populate when the logic is false, and put the value if the given variable has missing value, right? So let's understand this. In this case, we use the syntax as function as it is. Then this was our logic, and this was the value which we wanted to populate if the logic is true. This was the value which we wanted to populate if the logic is false, and this is the value which we wanted to populate if this sex variable doesn't have any value. So like I said, the last argument is optional. So if you don't want to use that, then your syntax is going to look like this. Now let's consider another situation. Here we have the same data set. Now we want to create two segments based on the age. The first segment is wherever the age is between 11 to 12, we want to say kid, and wherever the age is between 13 to 16, we want to say teenage. In short, we want to say if the age is greater than 13, then say teenage. If the age is less than 13, just segment that as kid. Let's try to do that. So here we are. Okay, now we're gonna say age segment, and then we're gonna say if c, because we want to populate the output in form of character, right? Age greater than equals to 13, then we want to populate as teenage. We want to say the value should be teenage, or it was the other way. Okay, let me put it. If the age is less than 13, both of the things are going to be same. It's just I want to keep it in the same context. If the age is less than 13, then I want to make it as kid, else I want to make it teenage. Now let's populate this, and let's try to run this particular statement. What's gonna be the result? So if you see over here, the result is pretty clear. Okay, so if you see, wherever the age is greater than equals to 13, it's teenage. Wherever it is less, then it is kid. Hope this is clear. To make it much clearer, what I could do is I can sort the data. Proc sort data equals to sample, and then run it. Now this is going to be pretty clear to you. All right. Oops, there seemed to be something wrong. I didn't specify the by variable. By age, and now if you run this, this is going to look pretty beautiful to you. Well, now you see over here, the age below 13 is kid, the age greater than equals to 13 is segmented as teenage. Now there comes the another criteria. So here it is simple if else statement. If you want to segment it further, how do you want to segment it? Let me explain it further. So here you see the same syntax which we had over here, right? Now what I want to do is I want to modify the teenage segment, right? How? So I want to modify it like this. Wherever the age is between 13 and 14, 13 greater than 13 and less than 15, I want to say it teenage. And if the age is greater than 15, so I want to say that adult. So how I gonna modify this particular syntax? It will remain same. The only thing which I am going to do is in the second argument, which is for false statement, right? In that I am going to start another if c. So what I want to say is if age is less than 13, then you simply say kid. If not, then what we want to say. If not, then in that we want to start another if C. If you have used if else in Excel, then you can understand it very quickly. It's exactly the same way. So over here I want to say if C age greater than equals to 13 and age less than 15. So here simply I am trying to say if the age is between 13 and 14, then say it teenage, otherwise say it adult, right? So this is how I just want to translate it. Let's go over here and try to translate that further, right? So over here what I want to say is if C, and let's start this again, age greater than equals to 13 and age less than 15, right? Less than 15. I will just put 15 over here. Then we want to say teenage, else we want to say adult. Whoever is younger than whoever is elder than this age group, then they all are going to be segmented as adult. Now let's see what the outcome comes over here. You see exact same definition, right? So you can just match this. Age is starting from 11 till 12 it is kid, 13 14 teenage, and 15 16 it's adult. So this is how you can use a shorthand for if else. If you write this particular thing in this way, it's going to be a little bigger. So if you have to write very complicated if else statement, I still recommend to use this. If this is if your if else statement is pretty short, if it is very small, then you can prefer to use if C or if N. If the output which you want is numeric, then you can use if N. If it is character, then use if C. I just hope that it was pretty clear to you. Just in case if you have any doubt, put that into the comment section. Until then, happy learning.